Hello guys, welcome to Tech Media, and we will be having a simple explanation about what an asset is and what a liability is. Most of the people don't know how to differentiate between an asset and a liability, and on this episode we will make a basic explanation for you to understand clearly what an asset is and what a liability is. Welcome. Asset. An asset, it is anything that adds you money. Anything that adds you money or appreciates in value, that is an asset. A liability, so an asset we can say it's a plus. We can use a symbol plus. A liability is anything that removes money from your pocket. Or depreciates in value. We can use the symbol minus. So in short, an asset is a plus, a liability is a minus. Anything that you realize is a minus to you is a liability. Anything that you realize is a plus to you is an asset. Most of the people ask if maybe a house or a car is an asset or a liability. Let's make a simple explanation for you to understand. If you have a car, and this car adds money, you use it for business, it keeps on adding money to you, then this is an asset. If you have a Porsche car that you are able to use for business or to give other people for money, and it adds money to you, then that's an asset. But if you have a car and this car doesn't add money to you, it keeps on taking money from you. Maybe you use it for leisure, you use it for fun, and what it does, it keeps taking money from your pocket, then that's a liability. If you have a house, assuming you have a house, and this house adds money to you, maybe you it's a rental, and it keeps adding money to your pocket, then that's an asset. But if you have a house and this house doesn't add money to you, then it becomes a liability. I know this might bring some confusion because we disagree with a lot of people, but assuming you bought this house, or you built this house for say $1 million, and for this house it's not a rental, you don't use it for any business, it's a residential house. So it simply means that this $1 million, you'll never see it, it will never be added to your pocket. it will be just there stagnant. So this might be called a liability, and this is where most of the people are confused, because assuming that maybe you bought this house for $1 million, and another person preferred to use this million for a business venture, or you had a business venture worth $1 million, but you made a choice to buy a house instead of investing in a house, investing in a business, then this becomes a liability, because assuming you had used this 1 million in a business that would give you an additional money per month of say 20,000 or 30,000 or 50,000. If you had invested this money and this money gave you 20, 30 or 50,000, then it simply means you could have used this money for business or investment instead of buying a house, buying stroke. So what most people don't get to understand is that we have been brought up in such a way that if you own a property, people assume that the property it's an asset, but in most of the cases, if you can use the money instead of stagnating the money at one point, use the money to bring more money, then that project, or rather that property, becomes a liability, because if you are able to invest in your business, or you have a venture that can add you money, then you make the wrong decision. So before making a decision to maybe buy something, or rather invest in something, you have to look and see what that property or what that thing will add before making that decision. And there are other people who confuse between whether a vehicle is a liability or an asset. Assuming that you bought a Porsche vehicle, maybe Mercedes or any V8 Guzzler, people get confused. Is this an asset or a liability? Well, it depends. There are people who buy Porsche cars, and their aim or their main purpose is to hire the vehicles. And if you have a Guzzler and you're able to hire it at a higher cost, and it adds value, it adds money to your pocket, then it becomes an asset. But if you have this Guzzler, or rather a V8 or a huge vehicle, but what it does is for fun, or for status quo, or for show off, then this becomes a liability, because it's not earning any money. What it does, it depreciates, it keeps depreciating, and with the depreciation, it keeps on taking money, because you have to fuel the vehicle, you have to maintain the vehicle, whereas it's not adding value to your pocket. Then that becomes a liability. So in short, as we conclude, just get to understand that anything that you do, for it to be a liability or an asset, you have to make a very sound decision as to whether it's adding money to your pocket or subtracting money to your pocket. So in simple terms, always check before you invest or take any step. Get to understand whether what you are doing or the venture you are taking, is it adding or taking you high in terms of wealth, or taking you low in terms of your wealth. So anything that adds money or keeps appreciating in value, then it becomes an asset. And anything that keeps taking money from your pocket or minus or taking your wealth from you, then it becomes or depreciating, then it becomes a liability. So either way, a car can be an asset or a liability depending on what you do with the vehicle, depending with the use, or rather the purpose. Also, a house can be an asset or a liability depending with the varying circumstances you have. And I know this might bring a lot of confusion, but as I said, if you invest in a house and your money stagnates, whereas you would have used that million to invest in a project that would bring profits, and in return the profits will build you a house, then you would have made the wrong decision. That house will become a liability, because the first thing is to first invest, let your profits build your house. Having said that, that was very basic, it was simple. This channel is all about simplicity for you to understand, and thank you for watching. Keep on subscribing, we appreciate. Thank you.